Hello and welcome to WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan men's soccer, coming to you live from a rainy, soggy, damp Michigan soccer stadium. I'm Jared Greenspan alongside Owen Crane for a Tuesday night matchup between the Wolverines and the visiting Notre Dame Fighting Irish. It's been a bumpy start to the season for Michigan so far. The Wolverines come in at 3-3-1. Most recently, they dropped their Big Ten opener last time out at Maryland, 2-1 on Friday.
Yeah, a tough loss to Maryland, 2-1. All three goals in that game coming in the second half. Their defensive structure in the first half of the game, not bad. They were outplayed by the Terps. However, you know what? Only down by one, right? Chance to come back tonight against Notre Dame. Big goal last week against the Terps came from Derek Broche, our senior forward. He already has 2 on the season, looking for another tonight against the Fighting Irish.
And the teams have taken the field now. We'll quickly run through Michigan's starting 11. Owen Finnerty is back in goal. He's anchored by a back line of Austin Swyke, Ryan Schultz, and Jason Buckner. Across the midfield, Bryce Blevins, Cameron Martin, Kevin Buca, and the senior captain, Mark Ibarra. Up at forwards, Derek Broche draws the start. So does Umar Farouk Osman, a pair of veterans in there, along with Evan Rasmussen. So Wolverines and Fighting Irish. The Fighting Irish looks like they will take the kickoff first. And we are ready to go. Steady rain, lightening up a little bit. No thunderstorms, so that's good. It's been raining on and off pretty much all afternoon here in Ann Arbor.
Hey, no lightning. The game's going to go on.
And we will take it. We're under an overhang, so we're not getting wet, but the player's already soaked. So we'll see what sort of effect the field conditions and weather conditions have on this one. And we are underway. Notre Dame controls in their backfield, pushing right on the far side, pressured by Buca, and looks like Osman got a foot on it. Buca comes across into the middle. Broche plays it, settles back. Ibarra at the circle, bombs it near side. Running onto it is Buckner, and he can't keep it in play. It heads out of bounds for a Notre Dame throw-in.
Not a bad start for the Wolverines. Strong defense right in the midfield.
So the Wolverines trying to be aggressive early. Here comes Notre Dame down the near side. And they'll switch fields, sending it across. And Buca got a head on it, up to Broche, quickly the other way. Broche rifles it with his left hand, and it's knocked down by the keeper, who makes a nice touch save. So the Wolverines really trying to get the aggression going early. Derek Broche with the strike. Notre Dame along the near flank. It's headed. Ibarra pressures, booted into the Michigan territory. Swyke is back. Notre Dame steps onto it, and we've got a shot here right early. Coming down the right side into the box. He'll take it, and it goes wide. Or does it? It's a goal. Notre Dame strikes early. We can't tell with our angle, and Owen Finnerty punts it away all the way into the other end of the field in frustration. And 1 minute and 13 seconds into this game, the Irish strike first.
And that was fast. 1 minute ago, we were down. Michigan got a shot off early, and things just turned right around.
It was a beautiful through ball, and Jack Lynn came slicing through the middle. No one was there to contest him, and he sent a low-lying shot that tucked inside the near corner of the net. It looked like it had gone wide, certainly not, and Finnerty and the rest of the Wolverines are in disbelief and on their heels very, very early in this one.
That's going to be Jack Lynn's second goal of the season for him. He also got 2 assists, a strong player for the Fighting Irish.
The Wolverines, who have been starved for offense on the year, find themselves in an early deficit. Certainly not enviable territory. They'll get a corner kick here. Bryce Blevins on the far side looking to take it, see if the Wolverines can amount a quick answer. It'll be a short corner, play to Ibarra. They'll swing it across to Osman. Osman controls, boots it with the left, headed up, and right at the net. Shoring to make an easy save is Notre Dame's goalie, which is Dowd. So Michigan opened very aggressive. Another long ball booted. Lynn is behind the defense again, and Swyke comes over to cut it off, knock him out of bounds. And it looks like we might have an offsides here first. But anyhow, Michigan came out of the gates very aggressive. and it certainly backfired as they got exposed defensively. It'll be interesting to see what sort of adjustments Shaka Daly and the crew make here with a long way left to go in this one.
Michigan absolutely a little weak on the back end to start off.
Notre Dame thwarts another Michigan attack. Ibarra with the header. Looking up for Broche, played off his chest by a Notre Dame player. Fighting for the ball and drawing the foul is Cameron Martin, so it'll be a free kick coming for Michigan. Blevins will look to take it right along the near side. So we're just 4 minutes into this one, but if you're just joining us, you have missed a Notre Dame goal that materialized seemingly out of nowhere, leaving the Wolverines stunned and in an early deficit. It'll be Blevins to take the free kick. A host of players right on the lip of the box. Blevins readies, boots it with his left, looking right into the crowd, headed and into the goal! It's a goal for Rasmussen, and the Wolverines strike. They've evened this one up at 1. A beautifully executed free kick. Rasmussen soaring in the air, got his head on it, tucked it into the near side corner, past the outstretched arm of Dowd, and just like that, we are all tied up at 1.
We aren't even 4 minutes into the game right now, and I've seen more than I saw in the last soccer game I came to.
An electric pace early, both offenses humming, both defenses shaking their head. And we've got a brand new ball game 4 minutes in. 41-24 the goal comes with 41-24 left in the first by Rasmussen off the header, off the free kick. What an electric start to this one. Schweik boots it away, back up top to Rasmussen. And a beautiful free kick by Blevins. What a well-placed ball.
Absolutely. And that's going to be Rasmussen's first goal of the season.
And a well-earned one for sure. Notre Dame controls, sends it along to the far side. It's played, sent into the middle. Touched nicely, Notre Dame avoids Osman. Here come the Irish. And a long cross headed out of there and away by Buckner. Now Notre Dame gets it back, loops it in with the left. Finnerty punches it away with 2 hands. Right to a Notre Dame player on the right side. He evades Buka, sends it back, and they'll reset. The Irish send it across down the near side for McCartney. McCartney, played by Buckner. And looking to send it in with the left, and Buckner sends it right back off his thigh. It'll be a corner kick.
Great to see some aggressive play from Finnerty in net. Stepping out there. Shots coming in.
McCartney, the lefty, readies for the corner kick. And sends it in. It's a low-lying one. Sent back to McCartney off the ricochet. Has trouble with it. Pressured out there by Ibarra. McCartney will defer. Ripped in with the left and headed away by Schweik. And then another rocket off the deflection, and it sails way wide to the right, so Michigan will have a goal kick. So the Wolverines' defense holds strong there. 1-1 the score here in the early going of this match. It was a quick goal, less than a minute and a half in by Notre Dame and Jack Lynn. And then Michigan countered less than 2 minutes later on a set piece with Blevins lobbing in the free kick, and Rasmussen finishing the job with the header. Finnerty takes the goal kick, sends it past midway. Rasmussen whiffs on the header, and Notre Dame corrals. A bit sloppy on the passing. Lynn gets it away. Now they'll switch sides. Up the near side come the Irish. Played for McCartney. McCartney pressured by Blevins. Back, and they'll work it around. And an offsides call. McCartney a little overzealous, looking for his teammate. Burns running up the near flank. And it'll be a kick for Michigan heading back the other way.
This Notre Dame offense is absolutely trying to take advantage of that small hole in the defense. They're trying to get by them, but it's already brought them 2 offsides calls.
It's Schweik, Schultz, and Buckner, a 3-man backline for the Wolverines. They've been in bend but not totally break mode early, giving up 1 goal, but a little steadier since. And a whistle and a foul off that kick in the Notre Dame half of the field is going to be signaled on Michigan. So it's a Notre Dame kick, the two teams trading free kicks. 1-1, 7 minutes into this match. Notre Dame scored first, Michigan quick to counter. The Irish are middle of the pack in the ACC. They enter this one at 2-3-1. The Wolverines at 3-3-1 in a down year so far for them, but plenty of time to make up for that. Martin controls, fighting with an Irish player. Notre Dame gets it back. The rain falling a little steadier now. Osman defending up the far side. Low-lying through ball knocked away by Schweik. And Buka trying to keep it around right at the flag. Did he keep it in bounds? He did not. It's an Irish corner kick. McCartney will take it. So after Michigan was aggressive early, the ball has been down in Owen Finnerty's end a lot more often than it has the other side so far. 8 minutes into this one. McCartney, the lefty, takes the kick, sends it in, and Rasmussen got his head on it. Ball's knocked around. Blevins comes away with it, and he sends it up the near side. Notre Dame first to it, though. Loops it back in with the left. Played at his feet, and a whistle. And this is going to go against Notre Dame, potentially an offsides.
Early game domination in Michigan's defensive end by Notre Dame, but quite a few whistles and turnovers already.
Sloppy play to start, fitting for the conditions, steady rain falling. Buckner receives the pass from Martin up the near side. He'll rip it, and it's deflected away. Good defense by Notre Dame. Ricochets out to Ibarra, tries to send it back in. It hit a player right in the crown jewels. He gets up, though. Notre Dame up the near side, sends a scissoring ball, headed off of bounds by Schweik, right to Broche down the middle. Rasmussen sends it back. Good passing here by Michigan. Blevins trying to jostle for it, but Notre Dame comes away. And so Michigan gives it back. And the goalie sends a booming kick coming toward us, and it ricochets off the bleachers. So not sure quite what Dowd was aiming for there. Gives it right back to Michigan. Buckner with the throw-in, looking for Rasmussen. Heads it right to a Notre Dame defender, and it's cleared with a booming left kick by Philip Quinton. Lynn fighting for it, but Schweik with the high header. Nice toe touch by Notre Dame. A Michigan player falls down. That was Martin, prolonging the Notre Dame attack. McCartney up the near side, played by Buckner. Defers it for Pellegrino in the corner, and he dribbled it off his foot. Out of bounds going back to Michigan. So that's twice on that possession did we see the weather and the field conditions playing a factor in this one.
Absolutely. You can see it throughout the game. Solid defense by Buckner as well, holding them out to the side.
So it'll be another goal kick upcoming for Owen Finnerty. We're just over 10 minutes gone by into this one. 1-1 the score. If you're just joining us, Notre Dame scored first, a minute plus into this match, and Michigan countered 2 minutes later. Rasmussen with the header. So 1-1 we are. Rasmussen heads it again and again. And that's 4 straight headers. Notre Dame comes away with it. Shea up the far side. Now played back into the defense. Martin applying the pressure in the midfield for Michigan. Up the far side. Booming kick into the Michigan end. And Buckner comes over on the help to get it away. Finds Osman down the left flank. Osman pressured into the middle. Ibarra out on the far side. Here come the Wolverines. And an errant kick there by Martin gives it right back. And then Osman comes in with the pressure. He's got a takeaway. Ibarra straddling the midfield line. Blevins up with his left to Osman. Right back to Blevins. Good two-man game. Blevins with the left. Stops. Played nicely by the Notre Dame defender. Defers to Martin. And they'll send it back across the back line. Schweik now along the flank. Blevins plays it. Amir has showed up, so things are getting exciting. Blevins to Buckner. Notre Dame on its heels a little bit. Let's see if Michigan can capitalize. Buckner with the scissor kick. Evades the defender. Back to Ibarra. Closer to midfield. Nothing doing here. Notre Dame holding its own. Blevins. Buckner. Errant pass there. Buckner back to get it. Retreats toward midfield. Into the Wolverine end it goes. Controlled by Schweik now on the far side. And Schweik will play it back across to Schultz. So a prolonged possession here for Michigan, and they try to be aggressive. Broche wasn't the first to the ball on the header. 50-50 ball, and Ibarra with a hard kick. And he got a Notre Dame player who's crippling on the ground and now quickly gets up. Ibarra protests, but to no avail. So a Notre Dame free kick up and coming.
Solid offensive streak by the Michigan offense there. Kept in the Notre Dame end for quite a while. I'm not sure how I feel about that call.
I think Mark Ibarra would agree with you, but the ref nonetheless does not. So Notre Dame has it, playing with the far flank. It eludes Osman, but Martin gets to it. Nice touch to Osman. He goes sliding onto the wet turf, and he drew a foul. So the rain is progressively getting harder here, and again, we're seeing it have an effect on the players on the field. It'll be a free kick. And it looks to be Austin Schweik to take it. A number of free kicks so far in this one. Schweik into the box. Rasmussen is there with another header, but he was offsides. It scooted wide anyhow, so a valiant attempt on the free kick. Rasmussen nearly had a second, but a goal kick coming up for Notre Dame. It'll be Dowd to take it. 31-40 left in the first half here. Buckner heads it right into the feet of a Notre Dame player, and another Irishman boots it out of bounds, trying to keep it inbounds, bringing up a Michigan throw.
Irish are targeting the stands today. It's the second ball we've seen go out.
A little animosity towards the fan. There are a fair amount of Irish fans who made the trip up from South Bend for this one. Notre Dame controls far in its own end. A lot of pressure by the Wolverines. They'll switch fields up to the far side. No one's there, though. Schweik racing over. He's going to win the foot race. Controls and boots it back up with the right. That was ill-advised. It'll scoot all the way out of bounds for a Notre Dame goal kick. One to one the score, just over 14 minutes gone by here in this one. Each team with 2 shots. Each team with a goal. Notre Dame heads the goal kick in the Michigan end. Osman plays it nicely, and a whistle and a foul. That's going to go on Osman, so another kick ensuing for Notre Dame. Notre Dame plays it back into the defense. Quinton up. The kick is headed by Osman right to a Notre Dame player. Pressured by Martin. They'll go to switch field to Patty Burns. Burns across with the left. Switches sides. A bit of an errant pass. It goes to Buca first, and he hammers it up with the left. Broche looking for it, but a nice head by Quinton. And Notre Dame able to keep it in bounds, and then they give it away. Broche has it on his feet. He's double teamed and loses the ball. Into the middle, Pellegrino for Notre Dame. They'll work it around to the defense now. Hammered far side with the left, and it's played nicely. Pressured by Osman, the Irish have it. Rips it in with the left to the other side of the box, and Buckner able to head it away. Pellegrino has it now. Back into the Notre Dame end, controlled by Quinton. So now Notre Dame with this sustained possession. McCartney has it, weaving his way inside, up with the left, deflected off Lynn to the far side of the box, lets the shot rip, and into the side of the net it goes. So nothing to make of that prolonged attack by Notre Dame, and it'll be a goal kick coming up for Owen Finnerty.
You can absolutely see the effect of this weather on their play today. Notre Dame, it's a pretty sustained attack. Again, nothing comes of it. But part of that sloppy play due to the poor field conditions tonight.
Schweik and Schultz pass it around. Schultz finds the open man. It's Blevins. Loops it into the middle. Buca first to it. Controls with his right. Give along the near side for Buckner. Buckner takes it in. Using his left foot. Still weaving his way through. Still going. Low-lying shot. Just wide. I think Dowd got a hand on it. Sprawling to his right. And that'll bring up a corner kick. Nice work coming up for Jason Buckner, and he nearly had a goal.
I believe Buckner just weaved between 4 Fighting Irish defenders. A great save by Dowd in the net. I'm not sure if that was on net, but he got a hand on it, pushed it off to the side. Wolverines are going to get a corner kick, another opportunity.
Impressive work by Buckner, the freshman defender from Western Florida. Corner kick comes into Osman, and he wants a handball on his long shot with the left. It's a play on. Buka lets it rip just wide to the left. A shot from well outside the box and straight on by Kevin Buka. Just missed. And so 2 near goals there for Michigan, but the score nonetheless still 1-1 here in this match. 17+ minutes gone by. Booming goal kick by Dowd, played right at the midfield line, and it's headed by Lynn. Michigan able to win it back. Ibarra sliding to it, and Schweik sails it out of bounds. Played nicely by a fan who hopped off the bleachers to stop it with his right foot. Surprised to see a few fans here hiding from the rain underneath the overhang. A good amount of them, actually.
Given the conditions,
I know.
I'd say great turnout from the faithful students tonight.
Rifled in by a Notre Dame player. It's controlled in the box by Lynn, and then he loses the handle right back to Pellegrino. Shots deflected nearly towards McCartney. He'll settle for a corner. So a bit of pinball action back deep in the Michigan end inside the box. And Notre Dame will have their 3rd corner of the evening. It'll be McCartney, as usual, to take it. The lefty getting ready, signals, now fires it in. It's a good one, and it escapes through all the way through the box untouched. And then finally sent back out. And it's another low-lying shot. And that's Rasmussen who got his head on it to clear. A Notre Dame player comes crashing in over the top. I can't tell who he leaped over. I think it might be Kevin Buka, who is slow to get up. And the ref having a stern talking to the Irishman, who is disputing the whistle. It is on Buka, or it was Buka rather, who was the man down. He's back on his feet. Still trying to read the jersey number on the Irishman, who trots back on defense. So another kick for Michigan. It'll be Schweik. Shaka Daly's complaining a little bit because the clock was not stopped despite the conversation. One of the benefits of the soccer stadium is we can hear Shaka sometimes when he gets agitated. Shaka in his 10th year. Somehow, still in his 10th year, it feels like just yesterday he was hired. But he's done a nice job with his Wolverines program, which was dormant when he got here. High goal kick for Notre Dame. Controlled along the far flank. Sent upwards for Lynn. He beat Schweik looking for the angle. He'll rip it in, and Schweik with the sliding stop to deflect it out of bounds.
Solid defense there from Schweik. We also had some strong coverage in the box from our other Michigan defenders.
And so a 4th corner coming up.
Credit to them, Notre Dame has had, like you said, they've had 3 corner kicks so far. Good coverage on all of them from the Michigan defense.
And they'll look to make that hold up again. McCartney sends it in to the far side of the box, headed by Lynn, and it was Osman patrolling the back line to head it out. Could have been a goal if Osman wasn't there. Notre Dame in the corner. That's deflected. Broche first to it, and Buckner boots it back up to just clear it. Running onto it is Martin giving chase. Controlled nicely by the Irish. Sent back to the goalie Dowd. He'll boot a high spinning ball. It's headed right up midfield by Ibarra to Broche, back to Ibarra. And he sends it too far down the near side. And that'll go out of bounds, giving chase for Notre Dame. And watching it go out was Philip Quinton. So a goal kick coming up for Dowd. So some nice flashes for Michigan. A few nice 2-man game, but that kick by Ibarra, too much mustard on it. Low-lying shot. Notre Dame whiffed on the header into the feet of Blevins. This could be developing, but he overshoots Broche down the middle. And it's corralled nicely by Notre Dame. Sent back to the goalie. Dowd boots it away. Along the near flank. Played nicely by Schultz. Onto it is Martin, jostling with the Notre Dame defender, and he couldn't quite keep it in bounds. Out of bounds it is. A Notre Dame throw-in on the way. 1-1 the score here in the 22nd minute, Michigan and Notre Dame. Irish struck first, a minute plus in. 2 minutes later, the Wolverines answered. Rasmussen with the goal. Quick developing attack here for Lynn down the middle. Defers to the far side for his teammate. Lets it rip with the left. Low-lying shot. Sprawling save by Finnerty on the rebound, and it's sent over the top of the net. It was an easy shot with Finnerty on the floor, and missing badly well over the top was McCartney coming in with the left. Too much on it. That could have been 2-1 Notre Dame easily.
Something notable about Notre Dame this year, 5 of their 9 goals so far, excluding today, have come from their 2021 freshman class. So they've got a strong group of up-and-comers here.
And a whistle at midfield. Indeed, a strong group of up-and-comers for Notre Dame. And it looks like the call is going to be against Michigan, so a free kick right in the center circle. Looking far side, it's corralled, played by Osman. And a bit of a forearm. Osman gets back on his feet. Aggressive play here all throughout tonight's match so far. Booted away, Swike looking to get to it. And a foul is going to be called, jostling with Osman down there. I think it was Pellegrino, can't quite tell for sure. Or not Pellegrino, rather. It was Tyler Shea, the senior forward. But those two were getting into it. And that is the 8th foul that we've seen so far. About 25% of the way through this one. So a testy game for sure so far. Finnerty sends it along the far side. Buka giving chase, and he knocks it out of bounds with his momentum. It'll be a goal kick.
Goal kick, you say a testy game so far. I'd also attribute it, though, to the slippery play. We've got players bumping into each other. Balls are coming loose. I'm seeing a lot more go out of bounds than you could normally expect from this Michigan offense.
It's like one big slip and slide. Goal kick played nicely by Notre Dame, and wrestling away from a Michigan defender. Switching fields now, it's to Burns. Burns played by Buckner. Quick give up to McCartney. McCartney pressured by a Wolverine. That's Blevins, scissoring his way inside the box. Still going. Slicing shot with the right. Sails high and wide. His momentum carried him that way, and that's where the shot went. So McCartney trying to do it all but can't. And it'll be a goal kick for Finnerty. One to one the score in the 25th minute between Michigan and Notre Dame. The Wolverines enter this contest 3-3-1. The Irish 2-3-1. Michigan lost their last game against Maryland as Finnerty's goal kick knocked out of bounds. They'll say off a Wolverine. Michigan unhappy with the call, but the Irish scoop it up quickly. They'll gladly take it. The throw-in comes in to Mohamed Omar, then sent back to the back line. Quinton evades Broche, switches fields to the near side, plays it through down into the box, and Finnerty watches and lets it trickle out of bounds. He'll take another goal kick.
A lot of midfield play in this game so far. We have these short bursts when we get into each team's defensive ends, but we're seeing a lot of back and forth in the midfield today.
And I think that can be attributed to the sloppiness of the field, with the rain still coming down as Osman jostles for a deep in the Michigan territory down the far side. Swite gets rid of it, sends it toward midfield. Broche and Rasmussen are there, and the ball is won by Blevins. Evades the Notre Dame defender with a nice move. And now feeds Ibarra at midfield. He spins away from an Irish. Schultz brings it across into Buckner along the right flank. Buckner, played by Pellegrino, spins away from him and gives it back to Schultz. Nothing doing for Michigan. Just trying to keep possession right now. Ibarra searching, defers to Schultz. Schultz is pressured, loops it to the near side. Broche whiffs on the header. Out of bounds. It'll be an Irish throw-in. So the right idea for Michigan, just can't get anything going. The Irish's defense has been very good. Of course, the only Michigan goal tonight came on a set piece off a free kick with the header. Besides that, not a ton of chances for Michigan. Buckner had one that just went wide, but he had to create that himself.
If you're Michigan tonight, you're grateful for that first goal. The team has been outplayed so far by the Fighting Irish, but we still got a 1-1 game.
Burns with the throw-in, controlled on the near side by Lynn, and he gives it away. Broche steps in for this takeaway. Sent back to the edge of the Michigan box. Schultz will switch fields. Osman up the far side. He's pressured. Gives way to Buka. Buka racing back to Osman. Good two-man game. Osman controls, evades a defender. He's got Broche, finds him down the middle. Broche lets it rip. It's too high with the left. He had a teammate up the far side, but he opted to take the shot instead, trying to make something happen, and he couldn't do it.
Another goal kick from Dowd.
Dowd's been busy not so much in net, but right on the lip of the net with these goal kicks tonight. Sends this one towards midfield. Buckner spinning away from the defender, still with it, and he's racing down the far side. Buckner leading the attack, rips it in with the left, and he draws a corner. Deflected off a Notre Dame player. Jason Buckner, the freshman, has really been impressive. He's a defender, but he just had his imprint all over this game on the attack for Michigan.
Absolutely a standout player to watch. He's also been really strong in the back end, doing a great job forcing the Fighting Irish out to the sides, wide, and helping prevent those corner kicks.
Buckner, the only freshman starting for Michigan, certainly holding his own. Ibarra rifles in the corner, and Quentin Phillip got his head on it for Notre Dame, and then sending it away are the Irish. Controlled by Schweik, loops it back down the far side. Notre Dame got to it first, but the header went awry. Osman for Ibarra. Ibarra working out of traffic. Blevins wards off a defender. Back to Martin. Martin switches side. It's on the feet of Buckner. Buckner back to Schultz into the Michigan end. Schultz right to left for Schweik. Schweik loops it in down the near side looking for Buka, and it's headed off of Burns. That should be a corner. They're going to say it's a goal kick. I am pretty sure that Burns got at least some hair or head on that one.
A hair or two, hard to tell. Refs are going to disagree. Yet another goal kick for Dowd, but definitely looked like the Notre Dame defenseman got a piece of that.
29th minute, Dowd lifts the goal kick. Ibarra jostling for it with an Irishman. Nice play warding him off was Mohamed Omar, but then sends it out of bounds. Shaka Daly having some choice words for the ref, saying Omar used an armbar and was holding Ibarra. He might have a case. We'll look closely to see how that's called from here on out. It's been an aggressive game. Buckner loops the throw in for Broche, heads it. Rossman heads it. Buka up the near side with a burst of speed. Buka got his defender to slide by him. He'll reset, loops it in with the left, and it's headed away by Philip Quinton. Notre Dame controls. Buka flying in on his backside to break it up. Ball's in the middle. Back to Buka on the edge of the box. Buka inside. Feeds Blevins, looking for Buka again, a bit too far in front of him. And Notre Dame trying to get it out of there. They can't. Buckner flying in, deflects off McCartney, racing up the near side with Blevins, and Blevins gets it away. McCartney flying into mud. His jersey is caked in mud. He limps away. They're going to say it's a foul on Blevins. I think it was a...
I'm going to call that a foul on the field.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there's a few factors at play there. McCartney was literally on a mud pit, and that might have caused the fall and make the apparent foul seem a little worse than it actually was. Nonetheless, Notre Dame ball. The action starting to pick up a little bit here. The Irish control in their backfield. Switching along the near side, it's Burns. Burns with the left. Finds Lynn. Tries to leave it for McCartney too far in front of him. Ibarra's got it. Martin at the midfield, right in the circle. Moving right. Finds Buckner up the near flank, right at the midfield line. Back to Blevins, pressured. Buckner loops it into the middle, headed by Martin. Back to Schultz, switches field, right to left to Schweik. Schweik taps it for Ibarra. Back to Schultz, pressured by Lynn. Buckner on the near flank. Buckner sends it into the middle. A Notre Dame player was there, fighting for the 50-50 ball. Broche and a defender. We have extracurriculars. That was Patty Burns with the shove, Broche with the jersey pull, and now coming in is Muhammad Omar with some words for Broche. The ref is ordering Broche to come to him. They're going to have a stern talking. And again, the action right over near us, near that mud pit on the field.
We're just seeing some aggressive soccer today.
A lot of hostility, animosity between these two programs. They have a bit of a history. The last time they met back in 2019, the Wolverines went into South Bend, won 1-0 on a penalty kick late in the ball game by Nebojsa Popovic. A dramatic victory.
That's one of only 3 Wolverine wins in the series, 13-3-4 all time against the Fighting Irish.
Broche takes his turn on the slip and slide, falls down, losing his footing, and the ball sails out of bounds for another Notre Dame goal kick. So we've seen, and we'll see a trio of substitutions here for the Irish.
Now on for Notre Dame, number 7,
Ethan O'Brien coming on, and Oneto coming on, and Matthew Rue coming on. Rue is their leading goal scorer. Interesting to see he didn't start this game. See if he could give the Irish some offense. They haven't been lacking in opportunities, more so capitalizing. The header sends Quinton skirmishing back. Blevins got his foot on it, but it deflects right to the goalie again. So good hustle by Blevins, really putting the pressure on Notre Dame's back line.
And Quinton not happy there. I'm not really sure what he was mad about.
Complaining about something, as has been a common theme so far. Notre Dame on the near side, played by Burns, loops the ball in. It's headed by Lynn. Another header, McCartney. Wolverines have it. Buckner and Lynn jostling, and Lynn with the, or McCartney rather, with the forearm into Buckner. Just looking at the Notre Dame jerseys, because the Irish are wearing a dark blue, Michigan wearing the maize. It's a little easier to tell with the Notre Dame jerseys, but they are soaked to the bone. McCartney particularly is caked in mud. Those white shorts are brown, and even the blue jersey has a tint of brown on it. Wolverines want a handball there on Omar, won't get it. The Irish come the other way. Rouge switching fields up the far side. Sliding stop made by Osman. And then a foul is going to go against Notre Dame. That's going to be on Into, who just checked into the game. After Osman got him with the slide tackle, Into tripped him on his way up.
Since that sloppy first few minutes of play, the Wolverines have really shaped up in the back end. They've gotten used to the field, and I really don't think we can overestimate just how rough this turf is today.
Notre Dame clears it away. Ibarra heads it back in. It's pinball again. McCartney trying to avoid Martin. He does, but he sends a poor ball. Buka gets to it first on the far side. Osman will look to switch fields. Schweik continues to send it around, back to Schultz. Schultz looking, pressured, sends it up toward the middle, and it's headed away by an Irish player out of bounds. So a Michigan throw-in upcoming here in the 35th minute. And that goes awry. Broche thought he was held. Notre Dame boots it far back into the Michigan end. Finnerty awaits it. Directing traffic, taps it with his left foot toward the left side for Schweik. Schweik far on the wing for Osman. Osman pressured by Into. He'll send it back to Schweik. Schweik on the edge of the box to Finnerty. Finnerty under pressure. Fires it with the right, and it's out of bounds. Chakadele squirms out of the way to avoid it. We have a substitution coming up for the Wolverines. Rasmussen, who has the lone goal, will take a seat, and number 22, Michael Leone, the freshman, checks into this one.
Number 22, Michael Leone.
The throw-in comes in down the near side, headed by Buckner and toward the middle. Quick action for Leone, and he winds up on his feet, fouled by an Irish. That was Ethan O'Brien, who's also a sub.
Leone in for a fast start, already on his feet. He's the second freshman joining us on the field.
Well, you know, he's just getting into this game. He's got to get muddy just because he's been on the bench with a raincoat. He's got to fit in. Finnerty rifles right to left down the far side looking for Buka. Notre Dame got to it first, but Ibarra has it. Shields off a defender, sliding to his feet. And coming away with it is Philip Quinton for Notre Dame. At midfield, Buckner wins the header. Notre Dame tips it. Lynn running onto it. A nice play defensively by Schultz. Gets it away to Buka. Turns off his defender down the far side. Buka using his trademark speed. Still going. Buka finally slows down. Hounded all the way. Low line cross with the left comes in. A Notre Dame player got there first. Blevins plays it on the edge of the box. Blevins to Ibarra in the middle. Switching fields. Buckner. He'll send it in. A little too low lying. It's headed away. Notre Dame's got it. Lynn fighting with Ibarra. Schultz there also. And Buckner. And Buckner wins it, but too overzealous, they'll say it's a foul. Ibarra complaining again, looking toward the sideline.
You know, we're seeing over and over some fantastic offensive possession from Buka. He's doing a great job evading these Notre Dame defenders and holding onto the ball, especially under intense pressure in the back end.
And Kevin Buka, who's not the tallest in the world, still making a difference on the far side despite his diminutive stature. Quentin Phillip clears it to Intoe. Osman plays it nicely, flying in. And Intoe trips him again. That's the second foul Intoe has had on Osman since he came into the game about 8 or so minutes ago. Osman gets to his feet. And so another kick coming up for Michigan. And the theme of players sliding everywhere continues as the rain is still falling here at Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor. Wolverines and Notre Dame knotted up at 1 goal apiece. Schultz slips a high arcing ball into the box. Bro's trying to shield his defender but can't. The Irish get to it. McCartney misplays it, allowing time for Buckner to come back in. Buckner stumbles, and he is fouled by McCartney. So that's Buckner again all over the action.
Buckner's all over it. A very aggressive Notre Dame defense here, and we have seen plenty of fouls as a result. These refs not afraid to call it.
And so this is a near identical spot, about 10 yards away from the sideline and 20 yards out from the box, from where Blevins had the free kick that led to the Rasmussen goal to even this game up about 30-plus minutes ago. Rasmussen on the bench for now, though, so if the Wolverines are going to do it again, it's going to have to be a different player who heads it in. Blevins, the lefty, sends in the kick toward the scrum. Notre Dame got a head on it. Ricochets out to Swike. He'll let it rip. Low-lying shot deflected by Intoe. Out to Buka. He'll send it back in. Notre Dame got another head on it. Blevins controls on the near side. He's pressured. Blevins gets it in with the left, sending it to the back net. Buka came flying in, but he overshot him a few inches over the top of him. Notre Dame plays it quickly, and a little too quickly because we have some substitutions, so the ref whistles to stop the action. Christian Pulselli enters the game for Michigan. Derek Broche will take a seat. A substitution for Notre Dame as well. That'll be Brian Silver entering the game. So Dowd will now get to take the goal kick. In the 39th minute, knotted up at 1 goal apiece. Halftime quickly approaching. We'll see if the Wolverines are able to hold serve or maybe add one before going into the locker room. Ibarra sends a high ball down the far sideline. Buka able to keep it in bounds. Up for Pulselli. He's got fresh legs. Warded off by Philip Quinton. Pulselli fighting for it, and Quinton shoots it up the sideline. Osman to it. Misplayed it. Intoe after it. Ibarra went sliding, couldn't get it, but Swite comes in to recover. Ibarra up on the far side. Pulselli. Pulselli, played by a Notre Dame defender, sends him flying to the ground. Back to Osman. Osman, using his speed, gets around Intoe. Sends in the kick, and it's across the box. No one was there. Buka jostling with an Irish player down the near sideline, and Buka gets to it. He's sent flying into the mud, and that's going to be a Michigan throw-in. So a frenetic sequence there. Buckner will take the throw right around that mud pit that we kept referencing on the near side.
It's a messy one out there today.
Buckner searching, lobs it down the near side, looking for Blevins. It caroms out toward Ibarra, and now Buckner plays it back into the Wolverines' half of the field for Swike. Sends it around to the far side, Osman. Osman loops the ball for Pulselli, plays it nicely off his chest. Back for Buka. Buka on the far flank, into the middle. Martin, Pulselli on the wing. Gets to it, keeps it in bounds. Pressured by Phillip. Osman wards off his defender. and then loses it. In tow comes away with it. Osman racing after it. In tow gets it away, but Schweik able to knock it out of bounds to thwart any sort of attack.
Good quick thinking on his feet by Schweik. The Michigan offense, a strong run there. Just couldn't stop that turnover.
Notre Dame has it. Quentin Puselli for Martin into the circle. Ibarra pressured. Finds Blevins in the middle. Quick feed. Might have a chance for Leon, but a Notre Dame player got back just in the nick of time to ward off the attack. Giveaway. Notre Dame, and it's off the head of Osman, and that might have saved an attack. Ibarra has it up to the far side. Buka in the Irish half of the field. Give for Leon, racing onto it, and that's sent out of bounds. Is it a foul or a corner kick? I think it's going to be a foul, judging by Quinton's reaction. The 6'5" defender knocked Leon to the ground, and Mark Ibarra will stride over to take a free kick on the far side of the field, right along the sideline.
The Wolverines have been absolutely dominating in possession time as of late. I want to say it's been in Notre Dame's defensive end 90% the past 20 minutes.
And this one is pretty far in the end, about 15 yards or so away from the box. Shaka Daly shouting out orders. Ibarra lets it fly into the box. A header. It's in! It's a goal into the near side of the net. Or do we have an offsides? The ref on the near sideline says offsides. And they're going to go confer. This goal might be getting called off. I can't see what Michigan player tapped it in. There was a whole scrum of players. The Wolverines are irate. The two refs are conversing right now down near the corner on the near side. A lot of shouting coming from the Michigan sideline. A Notre Dame player watching on. I think it's going to be an offsides here. And it will be.
A lot of
wow.
angry Michigan fans here. That noise level, it's a rainy day.
Well, it wasn't an egregious offside, so we can safely say that Michigan came inches away from going in front in this game 2-1 and scoring on their second free piece of the evening. The ref is over there conversing right now along the Michigan side with Shaka Daly and perhaps looking at some video. Notre Dame, rightfully so, is angry that the video is being shown to the ref. And the ref is struggling to control what is going on right now. Players and coaches from both teams are furious with him. The Notre Dame coach right now talking with the ref on the sideline as the ref is trying to explain what exactly is going on.
Right now, a no-win situation for this referee.
But it's been a tough match so far, a lot of fouls. And the goal indeed is going to be called off, met with a shower of boos. So the Wolverines that close to going back in front. Instead, it remains a 1-1 draw in the 43rd minute. Headed at midfield to the far side. In tow has it, pressured by Osman. The rain falling harder now. Ibarra gets to the loose ball. Blevins has it. Sends it across down the near side. Buckner, he'll boot it upfield. Played off his chest nicely by Notre Dame. The Irish working a two-man game up the near side, loops it into the middle, turns upfield, chased by Blevins into the middle. The Irish have a shot. It's a through ball, sent in. Is it offsides? No, it's a goal in the near side corner. He tucked it in just inside the pole. Michigan wanted an offsides. They're not going to get it. And how is that for a change of momentum and a swing of events? It's the Irish on top 2-1.
Wild shift in pace in this game. Moments ago, we thought Michigan just took a lead. Controversial call by the referee, and now 2-1 Fighting Irish.
And that goal materialized in an eerily similar fashion to the first goal, a series of quick passes and then a through ball slicing its way right through the Michigan defense. An open Irishman had it, and an easy goal right to left past Owen Finnerty's diving right side. And the Irish are on top less than a minute after Michigan thought it had the go-ahead goal, but it was called offsides. And so that's Jack Lynn with the goal. And Michigan is demoralized. Now they just have to make sure this deficit doesn't grow heading into halftime here. We're in the 44th minute of this one.
Jack Lynn's second goal of his season.
And mauled on the near side is Leon, and he gets up angry. That is Patty Burns again, and Patty Burns is screaming at the ref. The ref wants to talk to him. Burns doesn't want to, and Burns has been given a yellow card. He walks away angrily.
Rightfully so. Very aggressive defense, but he was getting handsy down there with the Michigan offense.
The emotions are rising high in this one. Maybe everyone could use a little trip to the locker room. So Blevins will have a free kick in the same territory of the first free kick that scored the goal for Michigan way back about 40-some-odd minutes ago. This one's a little further away from the box, straddling the near sideline. Another scrum in the box. Blevins sends it in, a high arcing toward the far side. A header's on it, but it squeaks across the box. Wasn't enough oomph on it. Notre Dame clears. Kick down the near side. Osman over in defense. He'll get to it right at the midfield line. Pressured, gets it away into the middle. Buckner heads it, and it's controlled by Dowd, who plays it with his feet in the box. Puselli pressures, forcing Dowd to pick it up.
Dowd with the ball clock at a minute left in the first half, and the rain has begun to pour.
The rain is certainly picking up. We can see it under the headlights, and it is flashing down.
I tell you, it's good to be under the overhang today.
It does feel good. Another quick developing attack for Notre Dame. Streaking right down the middle. Pressured behind by Blevins up to the left side. On the edge of the box. Cuts back to the right. He'll rip it with the right, and it's headed out of there by Schweik. Onto the feet of Buka. He'll boot it away. 35 seconds, not including any stoppage time, left here in the first half. And a whistle, and that's going to go against Notre Dame. Chippiness continues. Blevins has some words as he walks away. Schweik will take it in Michigan territory. Boots it up, looking for Leon, headed away. Blevins plays it with his foot, shielded off, and then it's kicked out of bounds by Silver for Notre Dame. 7 seconds to play. Buckner with the throw in 5 seconds. Buckner gets it in for Leon. Leon up the near side, and he is held and ripped to the ground by Burns. It's a play on. Leon is hurt. Burns is grabbing his jersey. We have a fight. We have a fight.
Wow.
Buckner has knocked Burns to the ground. There is a scrum erupting. Buckner getting into it. Leon is back on his feet. Notre Dame players are there. Omar is in it. Everyone is in there. Osman comes running in. He's getting into it with Dowd. Of Notre Dame players going ballistic on the ref. Burns is still on the ground. Michigan players walking away. They're still having to be separated. This is insane. Puselli and Buka trying to rip away Leon from Muhammad Omar right in the corner. Other scrums of players are going everywhere, and this game has gotten out of hand. And we still have a whole half left to play. Leon is trying to walk back down the Notre Dame sideline. Shaka Daly is trying to get him out of there because players and coaches are harassing him. Burns, meanwhile, is still down on the near side of the field. Michigan just trying to get out of there. Notre Dame stalking them back to their bench. And the referees have lost control.
The referees might have lost control 10 minutes ago, for being completely honest.
This was boiling over, and it finally reached its boiling point. This was brewing.
Of the first half. High tension, high energy, and this was a half that was dominated by the Michigan offense. So Michigan fans, Michigan players right now, very unhappy with that offside call. Notre Dame responds, they score a goal, and right now we're just seeing the culmination and boiling over of that energy on the field.
Well, Burns is back on his feet, does not appear to be seriously hurt. He is walking with a slow limp. It should be noted that he was the one who escalated it, with the clock ticking down and about 4 seconds left in this first half. Leon received a throw-in from Buckner and was coming off the near side. He was dragged to the turf, and then with Leon laying face down, stomach down on the turf, Burns tried to grab him up by the jersey around the back of his neck, and rightfully so, infuriating the Michigan players, who then came steamrolling over, and that's how we got a scrum and a pile. Players spewing over from the sidelines, coaches coming out, one ref in there, but not enough. And now a alert for the spectators to not go onto the playing field. I didn't see any, but perhaps not wanting any of the bad blood to spew over into the stands. But boy, oh boy, it's 2-1 Notre Dame, and we have a fun 45 minutes to come. Amir is shaking his head. Yes, you are not going to want to go anywhere. Wow.
What a start to this game. What a game to call tonight. Under the lights, under the rain, and the energy.
I don't think 15 minutes in the locker room is going to cool anyone off. These players are going to come out raring to go.
I'm excited for this second half. But let's talk about what we saw in the first half today.
Yes.
Thoughts on Michigan's defense falling apart twice, letting Notre Dame just get in there. But besides that, a solid game in terms of possession.
I think the concerning thing for Michigan's defense was that the goals were very similar. Some quick passes, and then out of nowhere, one offensive player carving his way through the defense, one through ball, no one on the back line, and an easy goal. Besides that, it was bend but don't break, but they held their own. Again, very physical play, tough conditions as well.
Just tough to see the defense collapse in the same way twice in a row in the first half of this game. The offense, a strong game. A strong performance so far by Buka specifically and Bucknor. They both standout performances so far. A lot of possession for the Wolverines, and they've done a great job keeping this ball in play and up against that Notre Dame defense.
Buckner has certainly been a standout. Buka with his speed. Rasmussen has the goal off a header for Michigan. Blevins and Ibarra have each delivered some nice set-piece kicks. And we are at 2-1 Notre Dame. We're going to take a bit of a quick 10-minute break here, but you do not want to go anywhere. Judging by the emotions and the tempers that are running in this game, I cannot wait for what the 45 minutes have in store for this one.
What a first half. Stick with WCBN, everyone.
So I will be back after the half. Owen Crane will be off. He did a phenomenal job. Amir Betkes will be subbing in for him, trying to fill his shoes. And we will be back in about 10 minutes. Don't turn that dial. Don't touch that mouse. We'll be back. And welcome back to Michigan Soccer Stadium, WCBN Sports Call of Michigan Men's Soccer. I'm Jared Greenspan, back for the second half with the new partner. Amir Betkas is here with me. We have an exciting game on our hands. It's 2-1, the Irish in front of the Wolverines at halftime. Let's recap what happened right before half, though. A benches clearing brawl down in the near side corner of the Notre Dame end. A wild melee. We spent all of halftime debriefing it, and the tensions were running high before that. A lot of fouls, a few cards, a lot of complaints by players to the referees. And then, boom, all at once, with 3 seconds left in the half, everything spilled over.
Did I miss much in that first half?
I saw you here filming it. You got some footage of the fight.
I mean, tensions were high between both teams. Those last 10 minutes were absolutely insane for both teams. I mean, Michigan put a goal in the back of the net off a free kick, and it came back for an offsides, and you have the referee coming over to explain to Shaka Daly what he saw, and then you have a Michigan assistant come out with their iPad to show the referee what they saw.
Not sure if that's allowed.
That did not make the Notre Dame coaching staff very happy as they ran over, and tensions just rose from there. And as you mentioned at the end, there was the brawl in the Notre Dame corner, and you had a player come try to pick up another player, and it just went wild. So we'll see if we have any cards awarded, if anybody gets kicked out as a result of that. But, yeah, I mean, to talk about this half, everything you've practiced for in preparation for this game you can throw out. The rain is really, really coming down. The field is destroyed. I mean, it's super muddy in front of the benches of both teams.
The mud pit that we referenced on the broadcast earlier is about quadrupled in size.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the goalie boxes. It looks like Michigan's box that's going to be to the right of us isn't going to be in that rough of shape compared to Notre Dame's. Notre Dame's is in pretty rough shape, but, I mean, if you're either team right now, your goal is to just get the ball on net. Get a shot on frame. That's all you need to do. And make the goalie make the save, because when it's this wet, it's super difficult for these goalies. And if they can't come down with it, your teammates got to crash the net to get that second opportunity. And Michigan's got their hands full. I mean, they outplayed Notre Dame in that half. They unfortunately had the goal get called back, and Notre Dame came back and struck a goal right away. But 45 minutes, it's going to be an interesting one.
One of the things we were curious about in the aftermath of that fight is if there were going to be any cards.
I think the referee's
handed out.
Pulling them out? I don't know.
Unclear. I feel like it would be unusual for there not to be. I mean, it was a full-out brawl.
Maybe the player was, if there were any ejections or anything like that, maybe already taken care of before halftime.
It's possible, but obviously we'll give you word of that as soon as we hear anything. Nothing yet, though. Michigan will start with the ball here. The Wolverines in a 2-1 hole. These teams, of course, wanted to win when this game started, but after the end of that half, you know that they want to win all that much more. So we're waiting the ref's cue.
Must be a media timeout. You know,
they're not waiting for us. We're media. We're ready.
Speaking about media timeouts, I remember for Northern Illinois, every media timeout, the few fans that were left in that game were booing. Gotta love Michigan fans.
I enjoyed how the PA announcer made an announcement telling spectators to stay off the field, as if they were going to go join the
You don't want to go slip and slide after the game or anything like that?
I don't know if they were going to go slip and slide or go fight. So we're still waiting. Rasmussen, who has the lone goal tonight for the Wolverines, is in the circle. The rain is coming down. None of the players seem to have a care in the world, though. Finnerty jumping around, getting ready, back in front of his net. Kevin Buka twisting around in front of us. Declan Gaffney into the game is jumping as well, and here we go. It's along the far side, played by Schultz, sent in for Leone, who was right at the center of the benches clearing brawl. Buckley, who had a good first half, plays it, and deep in the Michigan end, a booming clear for Schweik. Way on the far side by Notre Dame. It is raining as hard as it has all match. right now. It is hard to see the far side of the field. I think Leon kicked it out of bounds, and it'll be a Notre Dame throw-in.
Yeah, these first 5 to 10 minutes are really going to be interesting to see what kind of tone the players want to set out there. I mean, as you mentioned, the rain's really coming down now. The field is so saturated. It's basically swimming out there. But I mean, the emotions were so high at the end of that half. They've settled down right now from what we can see, but
for now.
Yeah, don't expect too much, anything crazy. Expect a little bit more like conservative play, keeping the ball on the ground, kind of nothing too crazy.
I think that's one of the main storylines to watch as Leon makes a move up the far side into the box, and here we go. He knocks down a Notre Dame player. And no words exchanged from what we can tell. But anyhow, I think that's one of the main storylines is to see how these teams are able to handle their emotions. Michigan, not only emotions because of that fight, emotions at the refs. These teams were not happy with the calls the refs made. Michigan had a goal called off because of an offsides. Notre Dame was not happy with then the refs went over and watched a replay seemingly on a tablet provided by a Michigan coach. So we'll keep an eye on that as that progresses. Notre Dame plays along the near side, sent in toward the middle. Schultz cutting across, knocks it out of bounds. Right near the corner, it'll be a Notre Dame throw-in.
Every time the ball gets played into the box, it's always going to be a dangerous ball because the ball's going to go where the ball wants to go, especially now with it being wet.
Then Giacobello throws it in to Cho, sent to the far side. Buckley heads it out of the air. Blevins, his pass is deflected back to Buckley, and he boots it up toward midfield on the far flank. Played by Reese Mayer for Notre Dame, and pinball again, out of bounds and up and over the overhang, and that ball is a lost cause.
Yeah, over the ultras out there. The
ultras have their drum.
The 10, 15 some students that are out tonight, which, hey, shout out to them for coming out to tonight's game.
Hopefully they didn't walk here.
Bus 62, if you're listening, and I hope it's running.
There we go. Notre Dame with the throw-in on the far side. It's Mayer. He's looking for O'Brien, who tried to make a move, but Leon stayed with him for Michigan. Finds someone cutting toward the box. Slashing across is Schweik, gets a foot on it. Now O'Brien to the far side, played by a Notre Dame attacker. Back to Meyer, loops it in toward the box, and Schweik sends it out. Back to Meyer, Leon there as well, and Michigan's got it. Martin for Michigan, now up the near side is Blevins, sends it up for Leon, and Leon's in the slip and slide. Leon went crashing into a Notre Dame player, and as he spewed out in the track right in front of the bleachers, water went everywhere, and he is drenched. And I can't tell if the call is a foul or a throw-in. I believe it's a foul.
Yeah, I believe it's a foul as well because that was going to be a Notre Dame throw-in. Yeah, it's a foul as the referee is marking it.
So that appears as if Leon was shouldered, and again, it's worth mentioning he was the one who, with 3 seconds left in the first half, got knocked off his feet by Patty Burns for Notre Dame, and then while he was laying face down, Burns took him by the horse collar on the back of the jersey, tried to pull him up, and that is what ignited the bench's clearing melee. So we've seen Leon now commit a foul and get fouled just a few minutes into the second half. A chance for Michigan right along the sideline. The kick is looped in towards the box and cleared nicely by O'Brien. Up ahead, racing on a run man counter for Notre Dame is Lynn, and Schweik with a beautiful sliding stop sends Lynn sprawling away, but then kicks it errantly back into the Notre Dame half. It bounces at the circle and able to clear it for Michigan. Buckley for Buka down the near side. And Buka has it.
Put on the ball and lift it up, and that's exactly what we saw.
Buka comes away with it, and he is tripped right as an attack was materializing. And protesting is Omar. The foul wasn't even on him. I believe it was on O'Brien. The ref keeps whistling, and he wants O'Brien to come to him. Not sure if he's getting ready to hand out a card or just another stern talking to. It's a card. So that is a stark difference from the way that this referee crew handled the first half. They're not messing around here. It goes from foul straight to a card, and that's on O'Brien.
No, the referees, I mean, the way that tackle was, it was relatively soft compared to how it was played in the first half, but, you know, the referees are not taking any chances to let this game get out of hand again and any brawls like that. But going to Ybarra right now where he has the ball. He's about 30 yards out, and from this, I love this angle right here from him. If he can get it up and over the wall, he can definitely get that left corner right there.
And it's
that's what I would expect. That's what I would do.
Only a two-man wall. Ibarra ready. Here it comes. It's a cross in toward the middle, deflected away. Leon has it on the top of the box. To the far side it goes. To Gaffney, sends a slicing ball in, deflected off O'Brien's back. And then it's kicked out of bounds, deflecting off Buckley by a Notre Dame player, so a Notre Dame throwing. So a decent chance for Michigan, could not convert.
Yeah, Michigan definitely setting the tone right now, letting their presence be known as they have controlled the ball in the Irish territory for basically the full 5 minutes of this half.
Wolverines trail 2-1. 2 goals by Jack Lynn for Notre Dame. The rain coming down at a steady, hard pace right now. Notre Dame down the far side, boots it out of bounds into one of the 11 Ultras, who deflects it back to a Michigan player. Buckley getting ready for the throw-in in the Irish half of the field. And that's headed out there by Quinton Phillip. Slicing across is O'Brien. Gives way down the near side for Jacobino. Into the Wolverine half of the field. Played on the back line by Schweik. Deflected by a Notre Dame player and sent across to the far side. Buckley is there, and he's able to get it away on the ground. Played by Blevins. Blevins in danger. Sends it far across the field. An errant pass, and not quite slowed down enough by the mud. It'll find its way out of bounds. Jacobello throws it in, and Schweik wins the battle on the throw-in. Up ahead to Rasmussen. Shields off a defender with his body. He's tussled to the ground, and Rasmussen and Jacobello getting into it. It's going to be a Michigan throw. Jacobello was saying that Rasmussen had his hand around his neck. The ref not having any of it.
Yeah, Rasmussen getting taken down right there at the tap.
Schweik with a poor free kick right to a Notre Dame player. Finnerty caught off guard a bit as the ball scoots his way to him. He'll get to it right inside his box and scoops it up with his hands before Jacqueline got there.
That might be the only time that the field conditions play into his favor, where the ball is skipping towards him and away from the Irish player. So Finnerty is able to pick up that ball, and Michigan looks to regroup right here.
A sign of approval by the Ultras, who bang their drum. I think they have a cowbell also.
Mm-hmm.
Free kick headed by Omar, then knocked away. Declan Gaffney up the near side in the Michigan area. Up to Buka down the near flank. Pressured by a Notre Dame player working right near midfield. Gives to Ibarra, back to Buka. Too far in front of him. Omar's pass deflected by Buka. Winds his way to in-toe. Buka comes away with it again. He's a menace. But his pass right to Omar. Sliding with is Martin. Buka again up the near side. Here goes Buka looking for the angle for the right side. The shot just wide. About half of the Michigan fans here were ready to erupt. They thought Buka had that one, but just wide to the right. And how about Kevin Buka trying to do it all and nearly doing so?
Yeah, before the brawl happened, I was thinking, like, what am I going to say going into this half? And, I was going to mention Kevin Buka, and then the brawl happened, and everything got thrown away. But, Kevin Buka has been really the energizer of this team right now. He's all over the field. He doesn't care about the conditions. He's running around, fighting for every 50-50 ball, creating opportunities out of nothing. And as you saw right there, getting a shot on net that just goes wide right. And, 37 minutes left, and Michigan's down by 1. Buka could be that spotlight player to play or pay attention to in this half.
Buka and Jason Buckner have, in my opinion, played the 2 best matches so far for the Wolverines. They'll need someone else to step up with them, though, if they want to crawl their way out of this 1-goal deficit. 2-1 Notre Dame leads. The Michigan throw-in sent far down the Notre Dame side, but it's deflected. Notre Dame has it, and the pass looking for a Notre Dame forward, Lynn, is corralled by Schweik, sent back to Finnerty into the bottle. Boom it. Past midfield, it's in the air, spiraling towards Rasmussen. Gets a head on it to Buka. Buka in the middle. Wards off a defender, pressured by Omar. Out to the far side, it goes to Buckner. Buckner working, slows down, right on the lip of the box. Sends it in with the left, a high arcing cross. Corralled by Rasmussen on the far side of the box. Rasmussen with the left. Warded off by a defender, sends it across, deflected, and it's caromed and kicked halfway down. Ibarra, Gaffney, and Blevins couldn't get to it. Notre Dame has it. In tow up the near side. Nice little threading the needle pass Pressured by Ibarra, and he takes a spill. It's a play on. Notre Dame irate. Buka to Ibarra to Blevins, and his touch too strong. Omar swoops in to get it. Omar double team. Buka in there again. Boots it down the near side. Schultz has one-on-one coverage, and he's able to get it back to Finnerty, rather. And Finnerty sends it away, looking near side, out of bounds. It's split between Buka and Gaffney.
Yeah, the Michigan player got really lucky right there. The way he was going to playing that ball off, trying to shield the Irish player, and the way the ball bounced right there. If Notre Dame was looking to cut in the net, he could have got the ball right there, but the Michigan defender got lucky. As the Notre Dame team, the bench, it's all water. It is all water right now.
Where are they? Where are the players?
Swimming. They're playing water polo.
Oh, that's a fun sport.
Might as well at this point.
We're getting close to it.
You got your floaties?
Yeah, I don't. I left mine in the car, though.
Let's go call Owen. Tell him to stop at Meyer.
Notre Dame throw-in comes in, played nicely off the chest by Russo, battling with Gaffney, straddling the sideline, and kicked out of bounds by Martin. Corner or throw-in? What's the call? Looks to be, as Meyer jogging over. The way Notre Dame is setting up, we're going to have a corner. So that's the 5th corner of the game for the Irish. Or is it a throw-in? Throw-in. We've been deked. A booming throw-in nonetheless comes in, headed nicely by Ibarra, and he goes tumbling to the ground. Coming down hard on top of him is Quinton. But then Quinton running back to the ref saying, I didn't do anything. And
we were all prepared for a brawl right there.
We were ready. We are on the...
The referee was on his horse, on the whistle right there. He was not going to let anything happen. But players shook hands as they got up, and we continue.
We do. Rain's still coming down. Finnerty with the goal kick. Sends it across the midfield line. Rasmussen heads it. Notre Dame keeps it in bounds. And it's slowed down by the mud. That ball was skidding across the grass, came to the mud pit, and just stopped.
Yeah, I feel bad for the sideline referee right here. I hope he has an extra pair of shoes.
Socks, shoes, everything. Gaffney throws it in for Michigan down the sideline. Played by Notre Dame. Here comes Pellegrino down the middle, played to the far side. Meyer has it, loops it in with the left foot. And it's an errant pass. Buckner has it, sent back to Finnerty. He'll rip one down the far side. Meyer first to it, heads it back in toward the middle. Leaping header by Ibarra. Michigan looking to maintain a possession here. Leone fighting for it, and he is fouled.
Yeah, it looks like now it looks like the water is it's struggling to drain out of this field. So the ball, rather than slipping now, it's getting caught in the mud and slowing down and stuff like that. And you watch hockey and how the goalies will put the snow or the ice right on their goalpost. I wonder if the goalies can do anything here.
Build
a mud wall.
Free kick near half field for Michigan. Ibarra boots one in, played nicely by Leone on the edge of the box, but Notre Dame boots it away right back to Ibarra on the far side. He'll have another de facto free kick if he wants it. He doesn't. Slices away inside, dribbles it too far out in front. Notre Dame plays it. Now Blevins swoops in there. He shields off a defender. You could see the water coming off the turf as these players are handling the ball. Errant pass there. Omar streaking down the middle. Evades Ibarra. Through ball coming up down the near side. It's slowed down enough by the mud for Silver to reach it. Silver, played by Gaffney, tries a scissor kick, nothing doing, sends it back. Booming ball comes in toward the far side, headed away by Buckner. Rasmussen first to it. Loses his defender Russo and sends it way back just to clear it into the Notre Dame end, and it's played at the feet by Dowd. 2-1 Irish, if you're just joining us. All 3 goals scored in the first half, including 2, one by each team, in the first 4 minutes of this one. That's how we find ourselves with a 2-1 score. Pellegrino switching to the far side. Here comes Notre Dame. We should probably leave the soundboard here. Throw-in coming up for Notre Dame. Irish looking to add to what is a 2-1 lead. Play it back and forth. An avenue open up, played by Buckner, and knocked out of bounds. Buckner and the Notre Dame attacker go crashing into the de facto boards behind the net, and the rain, I think, has picked up to the hardest all night right now.
It is picking up. And the way it's coming off the lights, it almost looks like it's kind of snowing. We don't need that right now.
Simone Vasquez into the game for the first time today, the sophomore midfielder. Cameron Martin will take a seat.
And then you can also see on the field exactly where those water puddles are coming up because it's super shiny. Like there was one or two at the beginning of the half, and I was like, what's that on the field? But
there are a lot more.
Now they're popping up everywhere.
So in the 60th minute, Finnerty booms a goal kick right to midfield. Played Buka in front. Buka, with a ward of Irish defenders, had the ball stuck on his feet. Sent to the near side now for Ibarra. He wins the foot race. Ibarra has help if he wants it. He does. Gets Gaffney. They'll swing it over. Vasquez, his first touch of the evening. And it's an errant one. He was looking to force it to Gaffney. Couldn't get it to him. Notre Dame the other way. Roux finds Russo. Back to Roux on the near side, right at midfield. Eludes his defender. Nice through ball off the near side. Here comes Russo. Russo looking to find the angle on Schultz with the scissor, with the left. Shot blocked by Schultz, and Vasquez swoops in. He's been in this game for 1 minute and is drenched. They'll say that ball was not out of bounds along the near side. Notre Dame plays it. Omar nearly slips. Fighting for it with Blevins. Vasquez for Blevins right near the mud pit. Who's it off of? Off of Michigan. It'll be a throw-in for the Irish.
That water puddle is slowly growing onto the field now.
Shaka Daly is on the sideline with his hood up, and I don't really think it's doing anything.
Yeah, this reminds me of 2019 when we played Notre Dame in football, and it was the exact same weather. Luckily this time we're going to be dry. We're covered.
Yes.
No worries for the broadcast people tonight.
Tyler Shea into the game for the Irish. Another Notre Dame throw-in coming. And it seems like we need a ball. And a Michigan staffer rolls. Oh, no. He rolls one, and it lands right in the mud pit.
The Notre Dame coaching staff was
not
happy with
Wonder if that
one.
was intentional because it's an Irish throw-in. Hard for them to get a grip.
I don't think so.
No?
It probably just slipped because of the condition.
No great chance for either team 17 minutes into the second half. Right at midfield, Notre Dame has it. Players are slipping everywhere. Soaring in is Gaffney. He's on his feet. Gives to Leon down the near side, but cutting him off nicely is Quinton. The two players jostling. Leon spins away. He falls down, and coming in is Gaffney, and he deflects it out of bounds.
And now we're under half an hour left until the end of regulation here, and Notre Dame still has a 2-1 lead over Michigan. And it's kind of turned right now. Notre Dame controlling the last 10 minutes or so. Michigan came out firing in those first 5 minutes, though.
You've seen the pace of this game really slow down because the ball is just getting stuck.
Ball's getting stuck. The cleats are not as strong. You're not seeing those type of quick moves that you would see the players make as they're running down the field. You know, they don't want to slip and slide or get injured or something like that. So they're playing a lot. This is a different type of game now. All the preparation you've done ever. I mean, whenever you're playing in rain and difficult conditions like this, you got to be careful. You don't want to make.
So what do you think the best way is for a team to score in these conditions? Is it passing or one player trying to dribble his way through?
Probably passing, honestly. Because right now, if you're not like right now, we haven't seen too many players go one-on-one just because the fact that they can't do those quick moves or the ball's going to get stuck. So doing those short, simple, easy passes between your teammates and then getting close to the box. And as soon as you're outside of the box, that's when you want to hit it on frame and make the goalie make the save.
The ball's in Michigan's end on the far side. Ibarra, hounded by a defender, plays to Finnerty. Hammers it toward midfield. Rasmussen gets a head on it. Played up to Leon. Nice shield by a Notre Dame defender, and we have a foul called on Leon, who wants a flop on Josh Ramsey, the defender for the Irish. Not going to get one.
Now, the way the players are also going to try to do stuff is it's going to go against every coach's motto, is they're going to look to have their fast forwards up top as high as they can on that last defender, and then just play a long ball over top and say, go get it, buddy. Because
I feel like passing through the air is the way to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to pass it through the air and one-on-one and hope that the defender just slips.
Chance for Notre Dame, played on the near side. Shea toward the box, and it was a touch a bit too strong coming through the box. Substitution for Michigan, Derek Broche, who started this game. He'll re-enter. And taking a seat will be Bryce Blevins. So we'll see if Broche can provide a spark, the senior forward.
Yeah, Shaka Daly giving him a nice rest and letting him loose really with 25 minutes left in this game, trying to get that equalizer for the Wolverines.
Broche, Buca, and Leon provide plenty of speed up at the top for Michigan. Rasmussen plays it off the goal kick, runs into a defender, spins away from it, up the far side for Leon. He's got room to run. Leon trying for the angle, slide tackle made. It's a play on. Coming in is Ramsey to take it away. Ramsey with the left, he falls down, sends it back into the Michigan half. Schweik not pressured, he has all the time in the world.
Very dangerous and risky slide tackle, executed perfectly there by the Irish in the box.
Notre Dame gets it away from Vasquez and then an errant pass. Gaffney swoops in to get it. Gaffney, the through ball up the near side for Buca, too far in front.
Looks like Buca might need a breather here.
He has been working hard, battling Quinton there, and he takes him down. That's something you don't see every day. Quinton, who's 6'5", and Buca, who is probably about 5'7", takes him down.
Generous.
Generous. Buca's also wearing a club on his left forearm. A bit of a wrap. Looks to be holding up in the conditions. Probably needs a new wrapping after this game. Free kick comes in to the near side. Vasquez plays it to Buca. He's pushed. No call. Coming up is Russo. Back toward the middle. McCartney. McCartney hounded by Leon to the near side. Shea. Shea on the edge of the box. High kick sent across. A bit too far. Rue gets to it. Meyer for Notre Dame. Back to Rue. Rue to Mayer. Rue again. Working with Buckner. Ibarra there as well. Omar evades a defender. Loops it in toward the middle. Schweik got a foot on it. And Ibarra comes in to kick it away. So the Michigan defense holds serve. Buckner turns it right back. Notre Dame on the far side. McCartney spinning out of trouble. And Buckner is down. And we're going to have a stoppage here for the injury. Didn't see what happened, but Buckner looks to be holding his left knee or something. A Notre Dame player is right there with him. It's way on the far end of the field, so it's hard to tell. Buckner slaps the turf in frustration. He is now lying on his backside, now trying to roll up, sort of half sitting up, half not. Couldn't quite see what happened. Trainer out to visit him. We're in the 67th minute. Notre Dame with the 2-1 lead. That was the score at halftime. But if you're just joining us, the big story in this game, besides the weather, as it has been raining all night long, is the extracurriculars and the huge fight that erupted as the first half came to an end, beginning with 3 seconds left to go before halftime. A benches clearing brawl, all players rushing in. What ignited it was what the Wolverines felt like was a late tackle. Omar was on the ground, or Leon rather, was on the ground and appeared to be hurt, lying on his stomach. And then a Notre Dame player Burns tried to get him up, and Michigan took exception to that, and from there we were off. Buckner, meanwhile, is on his feet, walking gingerly off the field with a bit of assistance, has his left arm around one of the trainers. The other trainer to his right has his left hand on his back.
Yeah, as you mentioned, we did not see what happened prior to the injury, but it's always a good sign to see the player get up and put pressure on both of his legs.
But if Buckner cannot continue in this game, that is a huge loss for Michigan. Him and Kevin Buca have been playing the best of all the Wolverines, and he's really anchored that defensive unit that, for the most part, has held strong besides 2 goals. So it looks like Blevins will re-enter.
Yeah, it could be interesting to see if
Buckner.
Shaka Daly kind of switches up his formation right here, losing one of your starting defenders right there, kind of like a key piece on that back line. So
Schweik and Schultz are the other 2 defenders. They're out there. Blevins, who replaces him, is a midfielder. Gaffney and Buca right now are standing furthest back. Not sure if that's because their positions have changed or just by nature of where they are. It looks like Gaffney maybe is going to be playing a little bit of defense here. He is a defender, although he first entered this game as a midfielder. Notre Dame throwing up the near side, sent towards the middle, played on a hop by the Irish. White comes in to take it off his feet. Sent across to Buka on the far side, rips a deep ball, looking to try to get past the line. Rasmussen with the header, and he's crashed to the ground with a Notre Dame player. And it's going to be a foul on Ramsey for Notre Dame.
Interesting.
The Irish take exception to that. Some mad fans in front of us. But this is a pretty generous free kick coming up for the Wolverines. A little far out, about halfway between the midfield line and the start of the box. But nonetheless a chance here in the 67th minute.
Yeah, about probably 40 yards out, and it's going to be taken by Ybarra. Do you want to get a shot on that? I mean, it's slippery, but I expect him to loft it into the box right here and have a teammate get a head on it.
He's lofting, and it skirts wide to the right.
Yeah, probably not executed the best right there. You couldn't really tell if he was trying to shoot on net or loft it up right there, but nonetheless, it goes out of bounds.
Schultz was the one Wolverine in there trying to get a low head on it. Could not. So a missed opportunity for Michigan. 2-1, the Irish still on top. Dowd with the goal kick. Sent to midfield. Played out of the air by his foot by Gaffney, but the Irish get it back. Omar to the back line. Sends it back to the far side. In defense, it's Schultz. Errant first touch, but wins it back the second time. Buka spins off a defender. Schultz, they'll switch fields, give to Finnerty in net, back pedals, and then plays it right along the end line. Sends it deep towards midfield. Headed nicely by Omar, right to Broche. Let's see if the Wolverines can get something going. And Rasmussen, his pass is deflected, right back to Notre Dame, but the Irish give it away. Schultz gives it right back. He boots it out of bounds down the near side in the Irish half of the field.
Yeah, now as we're approaching halfway through this half right here, there's still no goals in this half. No team has really had an amazing opportunity so far. A lot of it's been played in the midfield.
Streaking down the near side is Rue. He's working with Schultz, given to the middle. Rips a shot, saved by Finnerty. Wow. Oh, what a save, a one-handed save, punching it out of the air. Russo with the screamer, and Finnerty denies it.
At first I thought that Russo had an impressive play right there, just a quick move to get around his defender, and then with his left foot shoots it on frame. But man, Owen Finnerty right there, flying through, one-handed save.
Probably keeps the game alive for Michigan, because facing a 2-goal deficit in these conditions is a daunting task. Corner comes slicing in. Finnerty with the two-handed save, sprawling to the ground. And
doesn't look like, I don't know.
So we'll do that corner again. Finnerty knocking it out of bounds.
Yeah, if Michigan's able to come back and tie this game up or get the victory, remember that save right there.
And Notre Dame players right on top of Finnerty. That's Matthew Rue, the leading scorer. Low line corner comes in. Ibarra couldn't quite get to it cleanly. Knocks it out of bounds. Third straight corner upcoming. Shakadeli shouting out orders.
Yeah, you never want to give up 3 corners back to back to back right there.
See if this one has a different result for Notre Dame. Rasmussen heads it away. It will not. Chasing after it is Buka, but the Irish get to it first. Pellegrino plays it to the back line, sent far up on the near side. It's Russo. He was not offsides. Keeps it in with the left. Russo shot. It's tapped in by Omar. And the Irish take a 3-1 lead. Russo with the cross. Omar uncontested on the back line. And it's 3-1 Irish. And a huge celebration for Notre Dame. Have to think those bad blood emotions of the first half parlayed into this huge celebration for the Irish with the 3rd goal of the night for them.
Yeah, probably the 3rd goal, and Michigan, they want to get back into this one. They need to switch the script quickly right there. Going back to that goal, Notre Dame playing a really tight line, able to get in and through.
20 minutes to go for Michigan. A tall task ahead of them in a 3-1 hole as the rain continues to come down. Certainly, this isn't leaving a good taste in the Wolverines' mouth.
The Notre Dame goal is scored by 29, Mohamed Omar.
Vasquez gets to it around midfield, switches sides to the near side. Gaffney, chased by a defender, slams on the brakes. Sent back to Schweik, boots it ahead, looking for Rasmussen. Notre Dame got a head on it, another head, and it's corralled on the near side by Shea. Shea plays it up, the ball's stuck in the mud a bit. Blevins fighting for it, along with the Wolverine. It's Gaffney, and he's pushed from behind. A kick upcoming for Notre Dame. And now it looks like we might have a yellow card. And we do. Pellegrino was chirping, not happy with the call. And the ref actually made a chirping signal with his hand.
Yeah, coaching staff for Notre Dame cannot be happy by that one. You know, giving up yellow cards for a tough play, okay, whatever. But giving up a yellow card for running the mouth too much might be getting some laps tomorrow. 3
yellow cards now for the Irish in what has been a fairly undisciplined game on both sides. Right near the sideline, taking the kick, a ways away from the net is Ibarra. He rifles it in. It's headed by Notre Dame to the back corner for Lyon, and he makes sure it goes out of bounds for a Michigan corner. Blevins will head to take it. So a chance for the Wolverines. They need goals, and they need them quickly, down 3-1 in the 72nd minute.
Yeah, huge corner kick right here. Can Michigan get a goal and switch the script, or does Notre Dame hold strong?
Blevins, the lefty, low-lying kick. And someone got his head on it and tapped it over the net. I think it was a Notre Dame player, so we'll do a corner again.
Yep, looks like it was originally headed by a Michigan player that then got deflected and sent wide, right? So nonetheless, another important corner kick to...
Blevins sends this one in a little higher. It gets through the back line. Broche has it, rips a shot along the ground, and it's knocked out of bounds by a sliding Jacobello for Notre Dame. So we'll do a corner from the near side. Ibarra will come to take it. So we saw Notre Dame get 3 consecutive corners. Basically the same thing happening on this end for Michigan. Can the Wolverines convert? Ibarra sends it in. It's low and plucked out of the air and sent towards midfield by Notre Dame. Buka plays it right before the midfield line. Sends it into the box for Broche. Gets his head on it into the middle. Played nicely. No, it's a handball. Looks like that was Austin Schweik in there up front for Michigan.
Unfortunate. Your team's pressing really hard. They're knocking on the door of getting that second goal and to cut Notre Dame's lead in half, and the ball just bounces up and you get the handball. And that's how it happens when you're playing these type of conditions, as the rain is still coming down pretty hard, but not as hard as it was 10 minutes ago.
Dowd's goal kick knocked around. Vasquez is able to get to it. Then a Notre Dame player takes it away. Vasquez deflects it. Played to Broche. Back to Blevins. Around midfield and ripping it away is Shea. He's been aggressive tonight. And Omar is down. He's holding his left foot. Shea is motioning that it should be a foul on Rasmussen, who they claim kicked him in the shin. The Notre Dame sideline is unhappy. And now they're yelling at a lot of people. They're yelling at the refs. The bad blood back to the surface in short order. But Michigan can ill afford to engage in extracurriculars. They need 2 goals. We're in the 74th minute. If they want to tie this game, you figure winning this game is all but out the window. Broche heads it, looking for Blevins up the near side. Slides to a stop, hounded by Shea. Ibarra whistles it out of bounds down the near side. Substitution coming for Notre Dame. Michael Lynch enters the game for the first time today. Pellegrino will take a seat. The throw-in comes in. Ibarra heads it right to the mud pit. And Jacobello will take another throw-in. This one lands at the feet of a Notre Dame player, Russo, working his way across the box, rips it with the left, and Finnerty sprawling to his right, makes a sliding save.
Yeah, Russo cutting across the box right there. Just not the greatest shot, but as soon as he got his window open, takes the shot and makes Owen make this really an easy save.
Vasquez right at midfield, weaving his way through, gives to Broche, spins off his defender, plays it up the near side. Gaffney coming onto it in stride, rips it with the left. Falling down in the box is Rasmussen. Ibarra gets to it, boots it for Omar, trying to win the header. He's not going to win that one. Michigan playing. A Notre Dame player is on his feet and huddled in a ball. Not sure if he got hit in the head, but he is down, and we're still playing on, and now we have a stoppage. And now he gets up. 76th minute, still 3-1. Omar having a conversation with the ref for Notre Dame. The injured player up on his feet. Ref holding the ball. He's talking with Broche as well as Rasmussen and Omar for Notre Dame. Not sure what exactly is going on here, but it's ticking away.
So since the referee blew the whistle, it's just a dead ball right there, and since nobody had possession, he's going to just drop it. It looks like Michigan's going to play it back to the goalie as good sportsmanship, but...
Or not.
Or not. That's
Notre
what they typically do.
Not in this game. Sportsmanship, not in this game. Notre Dame plays the kick. Michigan gets to it, but knocks it out of bounds on the far side of the field.
Yeah, Michigan's starting to run low on time in this one as we're approaching the 14 minutes left in this half. And
Low on time and seemingly a little low on energy. Buka heads it. Leon has it. Sends it into the box. Schweik controls. Give towards midfield for Broche. Buka sends it in toward the middle, but too far. No one there. And that ball is going to stay in bounds, but not long enough for Rasmussen to get to it. So Buka a little too overzealous on that cross. And it'll bring a Notre Dame throw deep in their own end.
Notre Dame, 27, Jack Lynn.
Jack Lynn, who has twice scored tonight, back into the game for the Irish. The throw-in comes to him right at midfield. Hounded by Gaffney, it's out of bounds, a Michigan throw. Gaffney's going to take this quickly. Rushes up, fires, looking for Rasmussen, who was ill-advised. Fronted nicely by a Notre Dame player. Toward the middle, up toward the near side, and Schweik able to confront the attack with a header to slow things down. Finnerty will scoop it up off the turf.
yeah, fantastic play there by Schweik to head it back away from the Notre Dame player that was really pressing really hard and play it back to Owen Finnerty. And Michigan's going to need that energizing player right there, and as soon as they get that goal, the gates will open up.
Finnerty's kick is headed out of bounds in Notre Dame territory by a Notre Dame player. Leon will take the throw-in on a hop. It goes to Broche. Broche in a triple team trying to do something along the sidelines, and it's Notre Dame ball. The Irish come away with it. And now Broche rips it back. Broche toward the middle, looking for Ibarra. A sliding stop, and it's kicked back deep into the Michigan half by the Irish.
Yeah, the Irish now putting 4 and sometimes even 5 defenders on their back line and leaving 1 forward up top. So the Irish right now just really trying to hold on to that lead that they have and escape with the victory here in Ann Arbor.
We're in the 78th minute. Michigan struggling to mount any sort of attack. They need 2 goals here if they want to tie this game, 3 if they want to win, and they need so in quick succession. Blevins down the far side, has it at his feet, leaves it for Leon, and a Notre Dame player swoops in to get it. Working along that far side, and someone dribbled it out of bounds. It's going to be a Michigan throw, and the ball is kicked all the way down the field.
Nice little time-wasting tactic, but
Yeah,
the referee
ref was on it.
Was on it right there, and knew exactly what was going on.
The throw comes in, into the box. Omar controls for the Irish. And another Irishman boots it all the way down the field. Buka, who's been playing more of a defensive role now that Buckner is out with an injury. Controls, Finnerty in his box, backpedaling, pressured, and sends it out of bounds. That's not what Owen Finnerty wanted there. He throws his hands up and slaps his knees in frustration. Throw comes in, played off the chest on the near side by Rue. Sent toward the box, another chance for the Irish. Back to Rue. Rue twitches feet with the right, deflected. Vasquez has it. Can the Wolverines have any sort of counter? Ibarra quickly with the left, right to an Irish player. Omar in the middle, right along the midfield line. Sent in by Jacobello. Pinball down the near side. Coming onto it is Notre Dame. It'll be a throw-in.
Might take a minute for Notre Dame to take this throw in.
Clock is ticking. 80th minute. 3-1, the Irish have the lead. And taking his sweet time is Genenbacher for the Irish. Unleashes the throw. Headed back in, but a foul. And the Irish are not happy with that one. Foul nonetheless. Gaffney and Schweik were in there on defense. Finnerty barking out orders in net. Finnerty, a deep kick towards midfield. Rasmussen battling Omar. Neither got to it cleanly. And it's tapped out of bounds along the near side. It'll be a Michigan throw. Gaffney up to take it. Gaffney floats it in for Rasmussen, plays it off his chest. Battling with Omar. Blevins has it in toward the middle. Ibarra, and a quick defensive play. And it's taken right off Ibarra's feet. Lynn, back for a Notre Dame player. It's Rue, and a sliding stop by Ibarra.
Huge tackle by Ibarra right there. Otherwise, Notre Dame would have been in on goal.
Rasmussen to Blevins. Something developing here. Perhaps Blevins down the near side. Leaves it for Ibarra. Pressure by behind. Back to Blevins. Blevins with the left sends it across. Headed right to Vasquez, and Vasquez stopped from behind by Rue. And Rue, who came on as a sub and is Notre Dame's leading goal scorer, has played an excellent game for the Irish. Schweik deep in Michigan zone. 81st minute now. And that's knocked away by Jacobello. Chasing after it is McCartney. He's been active. McCartney's kick, scissors inside. Schultz sends it away with a header. Buka looking to make something happen. Boots it upfield. Rasmussen wins the header. And Leon has it right at midfield. Back into the Wolverine territory. It goes to Schultz. Schultz sends it across. Schweik. Now Gaffney along the near side. Pressured by a defender for the Irish. Gives it back to Schweik. Schweik into the middle. Vasquez. Vasquez to the left side, right at midfield. Gaffney signals for Broche, gets it to him. Broche turns infield. Broche to Ibarra. Ibarra working his way through the middle, give up the near side. Chasing after it is Gaffney, too far out in front of him. Some tired legs by Gaffney.
Tired legs, the field's starting to drain a little bit better. Those shining spots on the field are starting to disappear. Nonetheless, it's still pretty wet right there, so the ball is starting to skip again rather than being slowed down by the mud.
It's still raining, a little lighter certainly than what it was at its peak about 20 or so minutes ago. Notre Dame with the throw. It's a high arcing one headed by Ibarra out of bounds. And we'll do that again about 10 yards closer. Still in Notre Dame territory.
Yeah, less than 8 minutes remaining now. Notre Dame still up 3-1. Michigan needs a goal desperately quick if they want to have any opportunity in this one.
And Vasquez boots it right back to a Notre Dame player. Jacobello into the Wolverine half. Headed out of there by Schultz. Broche on pursuit, and he wins the battle. Leon has it. Sent to Buka in the backfield. Buka gets it away for Finnerty. Finnerty will send it back up with a booming kick towards midfield. Broche waits. He can't win the battle. It goes to Omar. Omar to Lynn in the middle. And a nice through ball off the far side. Back towards the middle, though, and Schweik able to get to it. Sends it back to Notre Dame nonetheless. Jacobello up the near side. Working with Gaffney. Sends it back in, and Schweik is there. Plays it nicely, evades a defender who reached for him with his arms after he was beat. Schweik leaves it for Blevins, in towards the middle, Ibarra. Ibarra a little slow to get rid of it. He'll have to settle to switch it over to Schultz. Now on the far side's Buka. Buka up along the wing, Leon. Back to Buka. Back to Leon up the flank, and Leon falls down. Buka racing to it. He's got it. Buka on the lip of the box, pressured in the corner, knocked out of bounds. It's a corner. Oh, it's a goal kick, and Buka is not happy. He thought for sure it was off the Irish, throwing his hands in the air in disbelief, still doing so as he trots back on defense. And I think that's about representative of the frustration team-wide for the Wolverines right now.
Yeah, most of the calls not going in the favor for the Wolverines tonight, and just a tough.
They had a goal, if you're just joining us, taken off the board that would have made it 2-1 Michigan because of an apparent offsides. We didn't get a great look on it. but Michigan was not happy as a team. And since then, they really haven't had any scoring opportunities. Notre Dame had a goal shortly after to take a lead before halftime, and then the Irish added another one later in the second half, and they've held steady ever since. Deep in the zone, and Leon is going to commit a foul. That's Reese Mayer, who winds up on the seat of his pants. Clock is ticking in the 85th minute. 5:34 left in this one. The Wolverines starting to need a miracle if they want to walk away with this one without a loss. Ibarra plays it at midfield, and an aggressive slide tackle attempt is made by Michael Lynch, and then someone else is pushed to the ground. Rasmussen shouldered by Omar. Omar trying to convince it wasn't a foul. The ref keeps on blowing his whistle. He wants someone over there.
So I think Rasmussen might have sold that one just a little bit.
I think the Notre Dame players would agree with you. The ref giving a talking to. Not sure what a talk is going to do at this point in the game, but nonetheless. Now Rasmussen is told to go away after he began complaining. So a kick near midfield on the far side for Ibarra. See if the Wolverines can get something off this one. Ibarra with the high, deep kick towards the box, headed just wide to the right of the goal. Decent opportunity there for Michigan. It was a good ball. The bounce is not going their way tonight.
Yeah. Basically, the storyline in the second half so far, and basically the whole second half right there, Michigan able to create those opportunities, but not the dangerous ones that could be finished in the back of the net.
Goal kick comes in towards midfield. Notre Dame wins the header. Gaffney pressured. The Irish get it back. Here comes Notre Dame. Something building down the near side. Leaves it for Russo. Russo makes his way through defenders and is shouldered to the ground by Vasquez. And so a kick about 6 or so yards outside the box coming up for the Irish.
It'll be interesting to see what the Irish elect to do on this one, whether they want to play it into the box or do they play it short and try to go into the corner to waste a little bit more time as we approach the 4-minute mark left in this game.
In the 86th minute, Irish have two players there to take the kick, McCartney and Russo. And they'll leave it short. Russo, played by two Wolverines, has McCartney behind him if he needs. Straddling the sideline, plays it back to McCartney. Beautifully done. McCartney for Omar. They'll swing it around. Omar into the middle. Here's Lynn. Lynn lets it rip wide to the right. Made a bid for his third goal of the game, but not quite.
Yeah, the Irish able to really pass around the Wolverines right there, making it look really, really good.
Finnerty with the goal kick. 3:30 to play in this one. At midfield, Rasmussen the header. It's deflected. Notre Dame sends it up quickly. Lynn down the far side. In fast pursuit is Schultz. Lynn inside the box. Lynn trying to find the angle, sealed off by Schultz. Finnerty the diving save. And a whistle, and I think that's going to go on Lynn. Finnerty a little slow to get up. Still on his knees, and now rolls the ball away and readies for the kick. Booming kick by Finnerty towards midfield, headed by Rasmussen. Headed by Omar for Notre Dame, played off his chest by Vasquez. Give to Ibarra, heads it back toward the middle, knocked away nicely by the Irish. Schweik heads it back toward midfield. Ibarra whiffs on the header. Notre Dame pass deflected. Gaffney running after it. Lynn beats him to him. Lynn back to Notre Dame, and a shoulder and a foul. That's a frustration foul by Blevins.
100% frustration foul as we're coming towards the end of this one, and it looks like Notre Dame is going to get out of here with a 3-1 victory. Still time remaining, but Blevins just coming in and making sure he gets a last little nudge before these Irish head out of town.
Well, the fight in the first half came with 3 seconds left, so I don't know if I would call it last yet. Kick comes in, headed by Schweik, headed again by Schultz. Leon flies in to try and get it. Notre Dame wins, and a player goes tumbling. He tried to sell that one, didn't get it. Notre Dame on the far side. McCartney shadowed by Buka. Vasquez there as well, and McCartney kicked it out of bounds. Under 2 minutes to play. Time is near through for the Wolverines as their chances at a comeback dwindle. Finnerty, kick down the far side, right towards midfield, headed by an Irish player and controlled by Notre Dame. Buca sends it upfield for Broche. Broche plays it for Leon, shadowed by Omar, looking to get something going, brings it into Notre Dame's half, crosses fields. Gaffney plays it. Notre Dame packing the box now on defense. Gaffney loses it. And not before a foul. It's coming toward us, but it died. The ball is booted out of bounds.
Man, I was ready.
Michigan unhappy that Notre Dame is wasting time. I say they were just trying to give us a souvenir.
I would have taken that home.
All wet? What are you going to dry it off with?
Frame it and put it up above the fridge or something.
It would go above the fridge. Ibarra with the kick toward the backside, headed away by the Irish. And winning it back is Gaffney. Sends it in toward the back. Broche is there, controls in the box. Schweik loops it in toward the backside, and it's headed away. That's as good of a chance as Michigan has had for the better part of this game, really.
Just a little bit too late. It looks like the time is going to run out on the Wolverines tonight.
We're at 40 seconds left in this one. The Irish with a 3-1 lead. A victory all but a formality now. Schweik with the throw-in along the near side. The Ultras drum still going strong. They're holding out hope. Schultz.
Wouldn't hold your breath too long.
Leon off the far side. On the edge of the box. Sends a low-line cross in. Deflected out of bounds by Reese Mayer for a corner. He rushes to take it as the clock hits 12 seconds. It's not a corner, it's a throw-in. And the countdown is on. Buca, Blevins with the left, sends it in. Ibarra heads it. Knocked away by Notre Dame. That's going to do it. The Irish come in Ann Arbor and leave with a hard-fought, well-earned chippy 3-1 victory in the rain. And Michigan is going to go home soaked and defeated.
Yeah, soaked and defeated, the correct term, and a little bit muddy jerseys. You know, first half, it was fantastic. I mean, other than those last 10 minutes of the first half really kind of set the tone for this game. I mean, Michigan had that goal taken away, and then Notre Dame comes back and gets a goal a few minutes later, and then you had the brawl. The second half was really not too dangerous. Nobody really wanted to put too much pressure on. It was just a lot of back and forth. I mean, the rain was really, really coming down. The field conditions deteriorated throughout the half, but you know, Michigan, they're going to have to regroup as they welcome in Northwestern, a Big Ten team, on Sunday.
And I think for Michigan, when you look at this game, that's the swing. The goal that was called off due to offsides. Notre Dame comes back less than 2 minutes later, goes in front, and then that fight. The Wolverines didn't come out with a lot of fight after that in the second half. Wonder if that first half and the weather really drained them.
Yeah, it took a lot out of them, and as the temperature starts to drop here in Ann Arbor, and when you're down, I mean, you don't have as much energy for that one, but you move on. It happens.
So it's 2 straight losses for the Wolverines. They next play Northwestern on Sunday, where they'll look to rebound. 3-1 the final here from Ann Arbor. Notre Dame escapes with a hard-fought, well-earned victory. For Owen Crane and Amir Betkus, I'm Jared Greenspan. Thanks so much for listening. And as always, good night and go blue.